Well, welcome back, and thank you for all the likes, comments, and shares on our first life insurance video. This is going to be the second video of that two-part series answering your life insurance questions from our social media posts.
Okay, and our first question comes from Danelle Wilbur today. Can I add my family onto my life insurance policy? And the answer to that is yes. You can add your family either at the time you take the policy out, so they can be medically underwritten just like you would be. There are spousal riders, children term riders that you can add, and you can also add them later on. They would just have to still go through the underwriting process. Thanks for your question.
Our second question comes from Monica Joffrey, and she asks, would it be worthwhile to get coverage on underage children? And what are some advantages to that? There definitely is worth your while, and there is advantages. This is something that I do a lot, and I think, I know Mike has done a lot as well. But whole life policies on children are really beneficial for one, because they're very affordable. Two, those policies will build cash value. We like to use a whole life policy for our children policies, and what we typically do is we do a 20 pay whole life or a 15 pay whole life. But for example, we would do a 20 pay whole life, so you would pay annually, monthly, however you'd like to pay that. And at the end of the 20 years, that payment would fall off. So the policy, you would keep the death benefit, and say the death benefit was $25,000, which is what we typically do on a child. You would keep that death benefit at no premium for the remainder of that policy until you either surrender it by taking all the cash value out of it, or if death were to occur. So that's typically the policy that we use with children. So the big advantage there is it's paid up insurance is a huge benefit. So as that child is getting into their early 20s and stuff and taking on responsibility, the last thing they have to worry about is keep paying on a life insurance policy, but they still would have the peace of mind of owning that policy. So good question, and definitely some advantages.
Okay, our next question comes from Alan Perzuka. He said, Mike, how can life insurance be part of my business plan? Well, this is really important, and it should be in everybody's business plan. For business succession, for key person, for buy-sell agreements. If you have a partner, the last thing you want, if something would happen to that partner, would be his family or spouse to be your new partner. So we encourage businesses, family businesses, to have the partners get life insurance on each other. Generally, we like using permanent insurance for that. It builds cash value. The business can borrow from that cash value in times of need when maybe your assets aren't quite there and for cash flow. Also, key person, it's an added thing to keep an employee from going somewhere else if that person's really needed, or if something happened to that person and you wouldn't know how to replace what they do. Key person would be really good for that. Universal life builds cash value. It's generally what we use for this purpose because it is flexible. It has a flexible premium to it. So yes, great question, Alan.
Our last question comes from Eric Galdo, and he asks, what if funds are kind of tight? Can you fit life insurance into a budget plan? And to answer that question is absolutely. It kind of goes back to what we had talked about earlier with term insurance versus whole life insurance. There's a wide range of vehicles that we can use for life insurance, and all of those we can fit a budget with. I like to tell people, if you have a set number in your mind that you would like to spend monthly or annually for life insurance, and it wouldn't be a burden to you, we definitely can build a policy to fit that budget for you. One great way to do that is with term insurance. Like we mentioned earlier, term insurance, we're able to get a larger amount of death benefit for a cheaper premium. So the one benefit to that is, if you do see and value whole life insurance, is that term is going to be convertible. So if money is a little tight today, but in 5 years, 2 years, 10 years, whatever it may be, you have a little more access to some more money, we can start to slowly convert that death benefit to whole life insurance, and start to build some equity into that policy. So there's definitely advantages to doing that, and many ways that we can make life insurance fit your budget. Well, that's going to conclude our second video of our two-part series answering your life insurance questions. There is no bad question when it comes to life insurance, and it's definitely something that we here think is very important for everyone to have in their personal portfolio. If you still have a question or concern that we may not have answered on this video, or something you just have in mind personally, feel free to reach out to Mike or I, and you can reach us here at the agency, or feel free to reach out to us on social media. So thanks again for all the great questions.
Okay, we're going to have our drawing now for the gift card. And the winner is Lindsay Deaver.
Well, congratulations, Lindsay. Thanks for the great question, as well as everybody else. You'll be able to pick up your gift card here at the agency, and we'll be in contact with you.
And thanks for your questions, and thanks for following Hugh Miller Insurance.